Yeah, one credit. That costs like $3 grand. So whatever, how much? One credit.
Because I was really nervous.
Which is good. Yeah, yeah.
Massage. Some stress.
Good afternoon.
Really?
Welcome, everybody. My name is Shanaz Joshi. I'm the Assistant Dean for Graduate and International Programs here at the George Washington University Law School. And it's truly a pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of the Dean's, faculty, staff of the law school, but especially on behalf of the Graduate and International Programs team, Andrew Bode, Sophia George, who you met earlier, Fahad Al-Rawaf, and our MSL coordinator, Emmanuel Guerrier. I must say, after months of emails and phone calls, it's finally nice to meet you all in person. And I would like to tell you a little bit about our office and the cohort that you are joining here today. As you look around the room, you'll see that it's fairly small, but there's an equally large cohort of online LLM and MSL students. So there are a significant number of students who are going to be doing their various LLM specialized programs online. In addition to that, you're joining about 85 international LLM students who have just started their program. Their orientation was last week. They hail from 41 countries. So it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to get to know them. We also have several SJD students, Doctor of Juridical Science students in the program this year. We have exchange students from around the world, including our newest partner, which is the University of Bergen in Norway. And then we have our MSL cohort. Our MSL is the Master of Studies in Law for non-lawyers, and they will be part of this program as well throughout the coming year. So as you can see, you're joining a very diverse, multicultural cohort, along with about 1,500 JD students who will be back in the building next week. So enjoy the peace and quiet outside, because it's going to be very different come Monday when everyone's back. Having been graduates of US Law School, you know the hustle and bustle that's coming your way. But I just wanted to extend a very warm welcome. Let us know how we can support and help you throughout the academic year. We're here for any questions that you may have. And at this point, before I turn it over to Andrew, I'd like to do a little bit of an introduction from all of you. So if you would introduce yourselves to your colleagues, tell us your name, from where you're coming, what you were doing beforehand, and what program you're going to be taking here at the law school. And we'll start here.
Matthew Warburton, from very far away, Bethesda, Maryland. I grew up, so I've been all around the world since then. I lived in Japan for a couple of years. Active duty military. I am interning at the FBI right now, and I'm taking national MSL, National Security and Cybersecurity Law.
Courtney Marshall. I am also active duty military Air Force JAG. I'm here for the LLM in government procurement, and I'm from Austin, Texas originally, but I've
Yeah, so I'm Tim Petman, active Air Force as well, coming from Travis Air Force Base where I was victims counsel, so I relate to the less emotionally charged situations, hopefully. Doing the government procurement environmental program and hoping to not PC or not move from this area. So
Aaron Allard, also active duty U.S. Air Force, doing the labor law program. Came from Charleston, so also humid. Also hoping to stay kind of in the area. I've done a lot of criminal stuff. Now doing labor law.
John Tricus, active duty Air Force. I'm here to study labor. Coming from Colorado, originally from Florida.
Charlie McCarthy, attorney at the FDIC here in DC. Here for the government procurement LLM. Moved here to DC from California about 2.5 years ago. Prior to government service, I was in private practice, commercial litigation.
Ben Webster, also active duty Air Force. I just did 3 years of procurement law up at Hanscom, Massachusetts, and I'm doing the environmental law rollout.
Hello, I'm Steven, Air Force attorney coming from Germany. I'm here in the environmental law program. I think that's everything.
I'm Tessa. I'm not in the military. I actually work in Middle East politics right now, and I am doing the MSL in Environment and Energy.
I'm Paige. I am in the military, active duty Army. I just came from Charlottesville, Virginia. We go there for a year and get a military LLM. And then I will be staying here for the next 2 years after I graduate and go on to litigation division and work with the DOJ.
And where are you from?
I'm from Tennessee. Go Vols.
I'm Marjorie Maldonado. I'm also active duty, Army, go Army. I'm originally from Trujillo Alto, Puerto Rico. I'm also coming from the Judicial Legal Center School in Charlottesville, so for 1 year. And after here, hopefully I'll go to Texas. Excited to be here with you all.
Celine Delise, originally from Haiti. Just moved here from JVSA Randolph. Was doing disability counsel, active duty Air Force, labor law.
Renee Alexander, just moved here from Okinawa, Japan, active duty Air Force. I'm originally from Indiana, and I'm doing the procurement LLM.
I'm Morgan Hicks, also labor law, also an active duty Air Force, coming from San Antonio. Happy to be here because it's a lot cooler. Oh my God. But yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm Joseph Bishop. People call me JB. That's fine. I'm active duty as well. Labor law as well. That's gonna get real tired. I came from Yokota. I came from Japan, Yokota Air Base. I was a defense attorney out there for a couple of years. This is actually my first stateside assignment, so I'm glad to be back and stay in the States for a little bit. And I'm from the Carolinas.
My name's Conley. It's my first name. Conley Cheney. I'm Air Force also labor law. Coming here from Florida Panhandle, where that is signed up. Vandenberg, California, originally from Southeast Kentucky.
I'm Jason Floyd, active duty Army. I'm a Virginian, and I will return to the JAG school to teach after this. Doing contracts projects.
I'm Nicole Bissett. I'm one of the active duty Air Force attorneys. I'm coming from England, where I worked with Stephen for a little bit. I've been told, as much as I would like to stay in this area, once I finish the LLM in international comparative law, that I'll very likely be going back overseas. So at least I get to be back stateside, because I've been overseas for the past 3 years. So we can't complain. It's been good.
All right, thank you. Dean Robinson?
Hello, everyone. I'm Associate Dean Robinson, and I am the co-director of the Litigation and Dispute Resolution Program. I have seen some of you all's names come up, although you're not in my program. And we did our orientation actually last week, but they'll fold in this evening at 5. Good to have you all here. I graduated from this law school, and it will feel very different on Monday. Because it'll be those 1,500 JD students, and it gets very full. But enjoy. There's obviously a lot of programming that's done. If you look on the walls, I don't know if that number is normally 600. It's a huge number of panels and
Oh,
programs.
events, yeah.
Yeah, that are done in the 10-month program. So they're very, it's a very rich experience here and with downtown, and there's going to be an election no matter what happens, and there'll be an inauguration. And so good to have you all here.
Thank you, Dean. Ms. Algar, would you like to say a few words?
I'm sorry I missed most of the introductions. Did we have the traditional Army, Navy, Air Force fight or not? Who won? Who won this year? Army. I have worked at GW for a very, very long time. I did LLM program stuff for many years. Moved on a little bit. Now I'm with the adjunct faculty, so at academic affairs, helping to plan the part-time schedule. But I remember many, many LLMs fondly, probably some of your bosses possibly by now because it's been that long. If you have any questions about the law school and how things were back in the day, I'm your person. So, and I sit right next door to Dean Joshi, so that's where I'm located. But it's really nice to have you all here.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hoder. As Dean Robinson said, it is going to be a hub of activity. So graduate programs runs a lot of events. You will be getting a lot of emails from us. We look forward to seeing you at all of the graduate program events that we host throughout the year. But, you know, the SBA and the student orgs do a ton of stuff too, in addition to all the program directors who host their own network and symposia and different workshops and discussions. So there's going to be a lot going on at this law school. Have a wonderful year. Have a successful year. I know you're coming back to further your legal education, and more power to you. And welcome again. And now I'm going to turn it over to Andrew Vogt, who is going to go over all the administrative and all the important stuff.
All right, thank you, Dean Joshi. And yes, like Stephanie said, she's worked with this population a long time. So whenever you ask me a question and I say I have to get back to you, it usually means I have to ask her. But we tap into her wisdom. So this is going to be a fairly brief presentation. I know you're all registered for classes. You generally know what's going on. But we have about 45 minutes presentation, hopefully time for questions. Then Fahed Al-Rawaf will come here and tell you what he does. He's the career counselor. And then we have law school and library tours meeting outside this room at 3:15. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'm going to start with some of the general academic information. I know you're all in different programs, but there's some things that are common to everyone, including the academic calendar. You may already know that the add drop period is through September 3rd. So if you need to make any changes to your schedule, you can do that yourself in the system through September 3rd. We have holidays here, including our newest holiday, Election Day. That is a day that the university is closed. Unfortunately, I think inauguration falls on like a Wednesday. It's not a holiday this time. Every 4 years, it's like the most DC holiday, but I think it's not happening this time around. One thing to note, in mid-October will be spring pre-registration. So pay attention to emails from the records office. You'll register for your next semester classes actually in about 2 months. And just before Thanksgiving, we wrap up classes, and then the fall examination period begins. We're back January 16th, January 6th. There's another add drop period, and then commencement is on May 18th. For those of you who are full-time, we'll see you on May 18th. Degree requirements. You must complete 24 credit hours, 2.67 GPA or better upon graduation. Most of you need to satisfy the LLM writing requirement. I mean, if you're specializing, you need to specialize, meet those requirements within the 24 credits. So I'm going to clarify a couple of these points. Number 2, for the MSL students here, the graduation threshold is 2.00 GPA. And this is a common question among this group. It's a good thing because I tend to do pretty well here. The only designation at graduation is possibly with highest honors, which is a GPA of 3.67 or higher. That is marked on your transcript. I'm not sure if it's on the diploma, but it does go on your transcript.
GW Law does not rank its students. The JDs have a few different gradations, but for LLMs, there's just with highest honors. The writing requirement. Except for those in the litigation and dispute resolution program, you must take at least one 2-credit class evaluated by a research paper of 8,000 words or more. Government procurement and energy and environmental law, I believe you need to write 2 papers, or write a thesis. If you're specializing, the research paper must be within the specialization courses. And again, it has to be a 2-credit class. It must be evaluated by a research paper for all the students in the class. You can't just choose to write a paper for an exam class. And you must write 8,000 words, and you need to clear at the beginning of the semester with your professor that it's okay for you to write 8,000 words and use it for your LLM writing requirement. To write a thesis, you must take thesis 1 in fall and thesis 2 in the spring. Obviously, that's wrong, flipped. Thesis must be supervised by a full-time member of the faculty, and the final form is that of a law review article length. And you can register for thesis 1 before having an advisor or topic. Any questions about the writing requirement or thesis before we move on? Okay. Comments, Stephanie?
I guess my only comment would be if you're not sure you're writing a thesis, think about it a little bit because we've had people who register for thesis 1 and then change their minds, and getting that course off your transcript is administratively annoying, but you can do it. So,
Okay.
It's hard to decide. So I understand.
Okay. MSL, National Security, Cybersecurity, does not have a writing requirement. Whoever's, I think there's a couple people here. Exam planning, do not register for 2 courses that have exams at the same time. The system does allow you to, it's really annoying that that flicks on and off. The system does allow you to register for 2 classes with exams at the same time. So it's up to you to look at the exam schedule, which is on the records office page, to make sure you don't have any conflicts. You may even want to look and see that you don't have 2 exams right in a row. You may want to take that into consideration during the registration. More and more classes here at the law school have take-home exams, and that is more, you check out an exam from the portal, and then you have 24 hours or 48 hours to return it. There is also a list of take-home courses on the records office page. So I would encourage you to look at the, strongly encourage you to look at the final exam schedule. And if you can't find it, email me, I'll send it to you. No problem. Books. There is an upper level book list available on the records office page. The first place to try is the GW bookstore, which is just a couple blocks away, but you don't really go there and just take your books off the shelves. You order them online and then collect them from the bookstore. They do have used books and rental options. So look there first. You can get your books anywhere you want. Just pay attention to edition numbers so you have the right page numbers. And see the reading requirements on the class syllabus. Many classes will have reading materials just available in Canvas, not necessarily books. Yes?
All the syllabi, because I'm on the faculty side now, we asked them all to post their syllabus on the MyLaw portal. You're probably going to get to portals later.
Yep.
So you can see any syllabus that's been posted on MyLaw. In your Canvas page, you'll only see the ones that you're registered for. But if you want to review other syllabi and think about switching classes, you can see that ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're not all there. They weren't all there, but they're supposed to be there.
They're never all there.
Yeah.
But yes, we asked them to do that.
Yeah. Closed classes. I don't know if any of you encountered this. Classes that you wanted to take, but you couldn't get into because they were full. Starting today, actually, JD students have their add drop period begins. So from now until September 3rd, you could keep looking in the system to see if someone drops and then you can take that seat. That's the easiest way to get in. If you want, you feel free to email me about what class you've been trying to get into and you're not successful. And we definitely can't always help, but I can at least tell you the situation, reach out to some administration members to see if there's anything we can do. Ask me or program directors for insight, help. Don't just go to the professor for permission. Sometimes there's simply so many seats in a classroom. So come to us, not to your professors. Any issues with this? Close classes? Everyone good? Okay, that's good.
Is if you can't get into a class that's required for your program, we
Yeah.
will do our absolute best to get you in that class.
Okay, again, add drop period goes through September 3rd, 11:59 p.m. This is where you'll find all the registration resources. It's also where you'll find the spring 2025 schedule when pre-registration comes around. It's all on the records office page, including the exam schedule and lots of helpful information. Registration tutorial. You're all registered, so you don't need that. Bill calculation is by credit. This year for fall and for spring 2025, it's $2,548 per credit. The only thing you'll find on your bill otherwise is the health insurance premium, if applicable, and the UPass fee, optional. I'll talk more about those in just a second. There is Student Accounts Office is the Central University main billing office. Inside the law school, we have a financial aid office. So you can reach out to them with any questions you have about your FAFSA or anything like that. Just a note here about for those doing a FAFSA that if you take fewer than 5 credits in a fall or spring semester, you won't get a disbursement. In the summer, that's 3 or more you need to take in order to get a student loan disbursement. Now about that health insurance charge. All GW students must have health insurance, and there is an automatic enrollment in the Aetna GWU Student Health Insurance Plan, or SHIP. So if you want to keep the health insurance plan that GW offers, your primary medical services are at the Student Health Center, which is in the University Student Center. Even if you waive out of the health insurance plan, you can still go to the Student Health Center, if you're under the weather or whatever. These are the charges, and the coverage runs from last Monday through August 2025. I think most of you will, and if you keep the plan, you can print the ID card at universityhealthplans.com. I suspect most of you want to opt out of the University Health Plan, and you start that waiver form also on University Health Plans. Does anyone have any issues with this? People have already waived out successfully. TRICARE, I know all these things. Okay, good. If you have any issues with this, go ahead and email me. But your point of contact would be ship@gwu.edu officially. Once you waive out, then you're good for fall and spring. If you're a part-time student, you would have to do this again fall 2025 because it's every year.
Andrew, what's the deadline to waive out?
September 12th. Is that, no, okay, yeah, it's September 12th. So when we really run into problems with this is people who are not paying their own bill, so they're not looking at their bill and they're not seeing the charge, and then they're just going on with your life, and then you learn 6 months later that you were charged for health insurance. So just stay on top of it, look at your bill, and take action if you need to. So the Learner Health and Wellness Center is just next to the Foggy Bottom Metro Station. It has extended hours this year. It's like 6 a.m. to fairly late at night. It's a gym, free to students. We have many mental health services available. You know, this can be a difficult year for many of you. I would encourage you to look at our webpage, www.law.gwu.edu/wellness for everything that is available to you and everything that we offer, including CAPS is just a phone number you can call for free and speak to someone anonymously. There is a University Disability Support Services office, but within the law school, our point of contact is the law school Dean of Students office. And this includes if you have a documented disability that may affect your ability to take an in-person exam in the time allotted, you can apply for an exam accommodation. That would be through the Dean of Students office. So a few perks of being a student here. One is this UPass. So this is $100 per semester for unlimited bus and rail. You're eligible if you have registered for 9 credits or more any particular semester. You pay for it as an optional service in your e-bill, and then you go pick up your card in the University Student Center. It's not active during winter and summer breaks. It's only during the semester, and then in January, you would get another one. Anyone who has their UPass already? Excellent. I know. Especially, that's killing me right now. I don't have a slide here. Get this question fairly often. There is parking available for students. It's not really discounted. It's kind of downtown DC parking rate, but there is a parking garage just across the street available for law students. Capital Bike Share membership, $25 for the year. So that's your cheapest form of transportation possible. Online newspaper subscriptions, Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal are all free with you logging in with your GW email address. And we have the Adobe Express and Microsoft Office suite available to all students as well. As we've said, this is a very active place, especially within student groups. The Student Bar Association is the biggest. They host a lot of events throughout the year, but we have over 60 other student organizations that encourage you to look through the list and see if any of them interest you and participate as much as you can and would like. Any questions about this material? I'm just going to talk briefly about technology stuff after this. But yes?
Are there any new rules about COVID?
I don't think so.
Having to take the shot or not, but they can also go get it, as I understand it, at the health center, if you would like one.
Yeah, flu and COVID shots are always available in the fall at the Student Health Center, or there's like fairs. As far as I know, there's no requirements on flu or COVID vaccination at this point. Any other questions? No? Okay, so just a bit about technology, accounts, and support. So because you've registered for classes, you've already been in Banner. That's also where you'll access your bill. It's where you update your local address. It's where you can order transcripts now or later, as long as you have access to GWeb. That will be your place to start to access your official transcript, as well as your diploma mailing address. So if you're leaving this area, changing addresses soon after graduation, be sure to think about this in 6 months to make sure that your diploma mailing address is correct. It's also where you'll get to Degree Map, which is a tool that allows you to track your progress through the program and see that you've met this requirement and that requirement. So it's kind of an online advising source. My Law, also called the Portal by the old school people. It's my.law.gwu.edu. This is a good place to start. You can even access your law school email starting from here. You can get to Canvas from here. Our systems kind of all connect together, so once you're in one, you can go to the other. It's your initial source of course information. Stephanie mentioned that there's a syllabus bank there. There's also course evaluations by previous students somewhere in My Law. Room reservation is there. Exam archives. It looks like this. On the far right is where you'll see your courses for the semester. If you click on one of those links, you'll be sent to Canvas. But if you, there's other information here besides just accessing your courses, including a photo directory, in case you want to look up fellow student or professor. If their photo is there, you can match a name to a face. It can be pretty helpful. Canvas is the learning management system of the law school. So it's your main place to go for your course syllabus and meetings. If you're taking an online class, the Zoom link will be in Canvas. There is a tutorial, Canvas 101 for law students, made by the Office of Information Technology. If you're having any trouble with Canvas, email lawclasses@law.gwu.edu, and they will help you. There is an app called Canvas Student that can be really helpful. You have two email addresses. In case, I hope this isn't news to any of you, but it may be news to you. When you created your GW email account, you created a main university email account. At the same time, a law school account was created for you. It's not necessarily first name dot last name. It's you chose your prefix in some way. But your law school email address is now your primary means of communication while you're a GW law student. There are many ways to access your law school email address, including the Gmail app on your phone. Notifications about your bill and some other things like university announcements are always going to go to your university email account. So we strongly recommend, one more time, log into your GW email address and set up automatic forwarding to your law school address, so you can look at your law school address forevermore after that. Any questions about email? Login? Okay. Zoom for law students. Some of you will take online classes, even though you're here in person right now. As I said, Zoom class sessions are accessible in Canvas. And everyone gets a licensed Zoom account, which you're not limited to 30 or 45 minutes or whatever. You can host unlimited member sessions. 30 minutes. And we have a Zoom guide available as well on the Office of Technology website. Library research accounts, LexisNexis and Westlaw access is free to students. You will receive or have received an email from the library titled Registration Information for Law Library Research Accounts. Have these gone out? Have you already gotten this email? Great. Okay, great. So if you did not get this email already, this is the email address to contact because it's an individualized email. So I can't share information about to you. So you need to reach out to them and ask for the email to be sent to you. As I've referenced a couple times, Office of Information Technology guides, a very helpful source of tutorial videos and everything you need to access all these different tools. We're good. We have a very good law IT office. They're located like 2 floors below where I'm standing. Lower level Stockton, 101. I believe they have in-person support, business hours. So whatever issues you have, you can always just bring your laptop there and talk to them. There is an Office of Instructional Technology, which is a different group of people, but they work with each other. If you have any issues, just email one of the 2 points of contact, and you'll get help. If you have any urgent, Zoom meeting in 5 minutes and you can't find the link, just call this IT number. Any questions about this or anything else? We're running a little ahead on time.
Can I,
Yes.
The slides, are those available somewhere online?
So I can share these with the group after we're done, because there's links available, so I'm happy to do that. Yes, Stephanie.
I was just going to say, even those of us who work at the law school get confused as to what IT does and what OIT does. The way it's been explained to me, if you have a problem with your email or something like that, it's the regular IT department. If it's with Canvas, then it's the Office of Instructional Technology, the law classes.
And campus is open, they have someone online 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
You can't get on
that's correct.
Saturday night, it's midnight.
That's right.
They have that service every day.
Yeah. There's Canvas has its own help that is 24 hours. So that's true. Yeah. Yes.
If we wanted to do a consortium class, if there's not a class that's available, are we allowed to do that?
So the LLM consortium with Georgetown University is available. There's just a couple caveats about it. It has to be a class that's not offered here and doesn't have a lot of overlap with our courses. So it has to be some particular seminar course that we don't have here, and there has to be a seat available. Georgetown students get first dibs, basically. And the request has to come pretty close to the start of the semester. We can't do the request 6 months in advance. So just recommend, do a full schedule of GW law classes. And if you want to try for a consortium class, make the request, but keep your backup plan. Then we'll drop you from the GW law class if it works out. One thing I didn't mention was the building. This is 6 old buildings stitched together over many years, so it's a confusing place. I recommend going to your first classes 5-10 minutes early to make sure you can find them. They'll all be in this, whatever the name of the building is, it's all one building, except the Law Learning Center. So if you have any courses that say LLC, that's a small building next to Tonic Restaurant across G Street. So unless it says LLC, you can get to it within indoors here. But you can only get all the way from one end to the other of the law school on the 2nd through the 4th floor. So they're the IP people. Your advising session is in E112. You may need a chaperone to get to that room because it's pretty complicated. You have to go up and then over and back down again. Any more questions? If not, like I said, my colleague Fahed, who is the career counselor, was going to come and say a few words about what he does. If we just want to have a sit down break, go to the bathroom if you need to, and just be back here in a few minutes, and then we'll have the tours. Since we're here, we also have, after the tours, we have the advising session, government procurement, national security folks. You had an online session last week, but IP, energy and environmental, and labor law people, we do have a group advising session. It's in the E building, 112, 212, 312, and 412. E stands for elbow. It doesn't actually stand, but it's like the middle building. Okay, so we'll just take a short break, and we'll come back and hear from Fahed in 10 to 15 minutes. All right, thanks. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, and the reception at 5 o'clock.
We're gonna leave right at 4.
Yes.
Work.
Good to meet you in person.
Oh,
Yeah, nice to meet you. Okay, so I think I submitted, although I needed to be in the procurement environmental
Okay.
dual thing.
Okay.
That is
Where
really
do I fall?
No, it's interesting.
Like
Well,
creative advising.
go to the environmental
Okay.
session. Yeah, you're kind of both. I think the majority of your classes are government procurement. I think. I don't think it's quite half and half. So I think you're like. I think you're like.
Credit requirement was a little bit heavier,
Right.
but not by much.
Okay. So I would say your like primary academic advisor would be the government procurement people, Dean Tillitman. But Dean Abate is going to be heading this advising session. I think you should feel free to go to that and talk to him. So yeah, it's always you're kind of in both. Are you going to write a thesis or what? So your thesis will be about like both things. So,
From the Air Force, they're like, if you want to do that, you got to be okay. But for our purposes, you're
So
environmental.
many ad drops.
oh,
They're going to want my thesis to be primarily environmental.
okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, just be sure to.
Fill your LLM.
Did you? Let me just confirm.
yeah, I was going to say, where can I go to verify that that all got processed and that I'm actually?
Let me stop this.
And even register for it.
Let me stop that.
I'm like, let me just do the mandatory like signature, but signature.
We still have you just as environmental. So
It's just that G, like Google Form.
yes,
Right?
yes. So if you just did it recently,
No, I did it.
okay,
I emailed you well, this was several months ago. And I
Okay.
get it within a couple of days of email.
okay. So I'll follow up about that. It's possible that in the actual system it's right, but on my spreadsheet's not, or something. But I'll make sure about that. I'll message Dean Joshi about that. So we look it up.
Awesome. And then just let me know what I need to submit if something got lost.
Okay. There's no like approval process. It's up to you and the Air Force. So don't worry about it not being approved.
Okay.
But we'll make sure it's correct.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
weirdly all about Nebraska, so students.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah.
I'm using Abbott.
A bait.
A bait. Good to know.
Yes, no one would ever think it's a bait.
At 1500 or
Okay.
3
Yep.
o'clock.
Yep.
So I figured it's in Stewart Hall. Since I don't know where I'm going, I didn't want to like leave awkwardly in like the next session. So if it's
Yeah.
okay with you, I was gonna head out.
Oh, you mean
Kinda,
him?
like,
Meaning,
walk over.
oh, okay. At 3 o'clock. Okay.
I don't know how long it'll take me, and I've never been around here, so.
It's not too bad. So just go up one floor, and then walk through, and you'll go around the corner. And his office is like shortly after you turn the corner on the second floor.
Okay. And is there anything? And I'm sure the next
Before that, you leave on time.
Are like,
You leave on time.
It's a
5:30.
tour. So just whenever he gets here, he's the career counselor, so he's just going to talk about what he does and resources available. But that's it. And then there's tours available. So I guess you'll probably miss that.
I think so. I mean, I don't know how long I'll be meeting.
But
If it's 15 minutes, I could probably kind of like whistle back up here.
it's okay if you miss the tour.
Okay.
I mean,
Not I'll just walk around. And
yeah, you'll figure it out.
and then I'll be back obviously for the advising session. I'm environmental law. So
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Did
you go to the
Hi.
I did. Oh no, I did.
That was. Okay, so are you checking your law account?
Yeah, I checked. Typically, my emails are forwarded. I checked them.
Okay.
I think they said it went out on the 15th of August, and
Okay, let me pull up my slides so you can. So it's kind of long, but that's the email to send, and just say I didn't get the LexisNexis. Yes. Yeah.
thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Things like that.
Of course, it'll be fast. That's me.
Can we move from here to?
I
Oh.
went to this a year ago. If you're going to Jason, you'll love it. Yeah, it was my favorite job here.
How do we do that?
Yeah, they're great.
Yes. It, your GW Law profile, GW Law School profile.
So do I make a personal meeting room in the?
Can we do Google Meet? Would that be easier than having to log into the stupid Zoom account? Just send them a Google Meet invite and then.
Last year.
When I told him, I said, look,
Why don't I just do this? This is my personal one.
All these people, that was the. How? She did. What did you?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. They don't want to DOJ.
That's why there were 5 of us. And there were 5 of us, and they were all gone. There was nobody that stayed. And so I was like, here's my boss. Here's my boss. I was trained.
Yeah.
So are you thinking that my boss? Yeah, she's like,
I'm like, you're learning, yeah.
If you open the Zoom room, should you be able to log in?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even give her 20. $20. I know she can't be. I know you do. She was like $20. You guys came from the same school.
I mean, it's okay.
But it came to math, like $20.
Yeah.
No,
So I don't think he spoke last year. Maybe. Oh,
No,
he did.
did speak.
Oh, he's there.
Oh, there he is. Okay. So now we need to transfer him to the screen.
Oh, I love you. Oh, okay. 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 Well, that was very nice of you. Picking up or didn't really have about you and your connection with awesome NBA.
Yeah, but you know what? I couldn't.
And I.
yeah, I've seen your name.
They have tracks.
He has counsel, Qatar. I was a victim's counsel.
No, but we're
Now,
talking
you mentioned that, and I love it.
Hi, Fahid, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Do I sort of barely hear you. Is my voice okay or do I need to be louder?
Okay, he's on the
Majority are like because there's not much. It's very difficult. You don't want to go to.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. All right. Let me know when you would like me to get started.
That's the same. One of my slides.
And I was like, I just want to go on a boat.
that's what I'm doing. I've got my boss she's not here now.
I mean, 15, 20 minutes. You know, this is like a co-presentation.
So I'm like, at least you'll actually listen to the
It was very
Maybe.
Yeah, so I just worked in the office with
Yes, there was. Yeah, exactly.
like you'll find out when you find out. I hope she's great. It's the hardest job in your
Come on, we could have you.
She was so happy.
No more.
Yeah.
Okay. We want you for another 20 years, so. Okay, have a good meeting.
I used to also
We have a get started again,
all the
please.
time, which is another reason that I hate West Coast because over like down the road, here in Southern
Yeah, actually, I have to miss 2 days of like this program.
I know, I see the thing.
Thank you so much.
Well, I mean, here
It looks good though.
Hi, everyone. We have some remarks from
Right.
the.
Andrew, I'm assuming you all can hear me because I'm not seeing anyone.
So this
Okay,
is a
one
bit
second.
awkward,
All right.
but
Just let me know when you would like me to get started.
sure. So Fahad is suddenly unable to join us in person, but we've zoomed him in. He's the career counselor, so he's just going to make some quick remarks about what he does and what he can do for you, and then we'll, like I said, we'll have the tours starting. Okay, so I'm going to give him the go-ahead. This was quick work.
All right. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there in person. Andrew, please let me know if there are any issues with the audio. My name is Fahad Rawaf. I'm the career counselor for all the LLM students, US or international. A bit of a background about myself. I did my law degree JD at the University of Tulsa College of Law in Oklahoma. I also have an LLM from GW Law in Business and Finance Law. So I was actually seated, just like you are right now, in an orientation about 7 to 8 years ago. I'm also licensed to practice law in the state of New York. I moved to DC about 15 years. I've lived in DC for about 15 years right after my JD, where I've worked in different legal capacities. First, as a legal and policy advisor in a nonprofit in a civil rights organization, and then as the head of the legal department at the Saudi embassy, and then as a legal recruiter. I joined GW about a year and a half ago, and I'll be going over as a career counselor, and I'll be going over in a bit the different services that we do provide for our students when it comes to career-related matters. So I hold several virtual and in-person, workshops during the semester on resumes, cover letters, how to start a job search, how to network, how to conduct an informational session. I could also meet one-on-one with all of you to go over your application documents, to conduct mock interviews, to provide you advice on networking, just career strategy, in general. A few, piece of advices that I would like to give you. I would highly recommend that you all take advantage of the resources available to you, starting with your professors. Your professors are experts, in their fields, and in many cases have really been great and instrumental, frankly, in assisting LLM students, especially the US LLM students, and enlarging their professional networks and introducing them to networks that could therefore then thereafter translate into opportunities. Usually the LLM class, especially the US LLM class, is comprised of those who want to be specialists in a particular area of the law, or maybe those who are pivoting to a completely new area, of the law. And I think for both categories, I would highly recommend that you tap into the very large network that we have of GW Law LLM alumni who work all over the US, and you could connect with them, on LinkedIn. It's really interesting to see their career trajectory post the post LLM graduation. What I've found here during my year and a half at GW, as I have been connecting with alumni and also going over their career trajectory on LinkedIn, I've noticed that for the US LLMs, those who are, currently taking a year out of their work in the military, either continue their careers in government, or some have moved into, the private sector by either becoming practitioners at law firms, some of them setting up their own law firms, and some then also joining in-house legal departments at big corporations. And we've also had the other way meeting of individuals who are working in big law or in firms and who want to actually pivot and work in the government. So we've had practitioners who want to specialize in a particular area of the law in order to be able to land these positions in government. In particular, one of our recent alumni, used to work at Covington for a few years after his JD, then came back to GW, did an LLM in international comparative law, and then was able to land a position in the legal advisor's office at the State Department. We also have, as I mentioned earlier, students who want to pivot into a completely new area, of the law. Last year in particular, we had a student who was a policy advisor at a nonprofit. She was enrolled in the government procurement program. Initially, she started the program in the part-time track, and then quickly realized that she really needed to move into the full-time track in order to really avail herself of all the events and the networking opportunities in order to really maximize her time at GW and be able to make a successful pivot. Pivot, by and large, are not impossible, but they take a lot of strategizing and networking. And for that particular student, she was able to extern at the Federal Court of Claims, and that she used really that externship as a stepping stone into that particular field. And she was able to really discuss that particular experience that she had with government procurement practitioners, and is now just recently joined, a law firm as an associate. So she was able to really completely pivot her not only area of law, but also the setting. She used to work post JD for 5-6 years at a nonprofit, and then was able to really pivot to work in the specialty that she's interested in, and in this legal setting that she wanted to do. And she was really able only to do that by strategizing and networking and applying for jobs. I'm only mentioning, the reason I'm mentioning these two stories is to just give you an idea about the different profiles of recent alumni as to how they use their LLM degree to further their careers. And for those who are looking to pivot, for you all to start thinking about what does this pivot look like for you. And I'm here to assist you to discuss that, to strategize, and to also guide you to alumni who could be of assistance to you. One other thing for those who are wishing to pivot into a new area of the law, I think I would recommend that you extern or intern during your second semester, especially for those who are working full-time. Who are doing the program full-time. We currently have an environmental LLM student who started in the spring semester, and he's about to extern actually at the EPA. Again, he had no work experience in environmental law, but he came to GW to specialize in that particular field, and then was able to land this externship at the EPA. We also have another student who would like to pivot his work from private practice to government, and he was able to land an externship at the TSA just this semester. So that's really for those who are trying to pivot into an area of the law. But I would also recommend, even for those who are here doing it full time for a year, to really take advantage of the resources available to you, whether it's myself from a career perspective, whether it's your professors, who are not only a wealth of information when it comes to their field, but they do have a network. They could maybe introduce you to some of their network that could thereafter translate into different opportunities or different path. I will tell you, I myself, when I did my LLM here at GW, I did it part-time, and I had a job at the time, and I just frankly didn't think about networking and applying for positions because I was quite satisfied with my position. I just thought that having this specialty would assist me in doing the pivot later on. And that was a bit of a mistake that I didn't really do the networking, early on, because I just thought that I could do that after I graduate, and it was a bit too late by then. So don't do what I did. Make sure also to attend, conferences and events during the academic year. I feel I'm repeating myself, but you're not here to just acquire specialized knowledge, which all of you are, but also to really expand and enlarge your network. And given that we are in Washington, D.C., there's really no shortage of events or conferences that would relate to a particular specialty. Separate from career matters, I also wanted to talk to you about a professional development program called the Thomas Bergenthal in a Fort program. We meet about 12 times during the academic year. We will be meeting 7 times in the fall semester, 5 times in the spring. It's completely voluntary. There are no credits attached to it. We will be sending a schedule about the 12 sessions in the coming week. Our very first session is actually on next Wednesday. They will all take place, for the most part, on Wednesdays. What we discuss during these professional development year-long program is setting goals, negotiating, how to be a better listener. And we also host alumni from different practice areas and legal settings that will come and talk to you and the international LLM crowd. The alumni who will join us are mainly DC-based alumni, but we've also had alumni join us via Zoom. So that's really about it from my end on career matters and the professional development program. I am in B306, that Burns Building 306. I had my business cards ready to give it to you all, but unfortunately, since I'm unable to be there, I guess, Andrew, you could share my email address. But I'm available to meet on you one-on-one to discuss, to go over your application documents, to conduct mock interviews, to discuss networking strategies, conducting informational sessions, etc. And I'm also here if you have any questions now. Again, I can't see anyone. I'm just, I see, oh, now I see Andrew. Got it. Hi. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm here. Good to go? Okay. All right. Okay, we'll be logging off. Good luck, everyone, and congratulations again on your journey starting your LLM.
Okay. Seemed like a disaster, but we kind of pulled that off, I think. So I wanted to share one thing. He mentioned the LLM Bergenthal Inn of Court, which is based on the JD Inns of Court program, which is kind of a hallmark of GW Law. No, many of you may be here with your families. You don't want to be here except when you have classes. But every other week we have, they're all mostly on Wednesdays this year. This is about just professional development. See, the first session is about goal setting. Second one is about the key to finding meaning in your career. So it is applicable to everyone. You're welcome to attend. It's totally optional. And you're also welcome to attend one and not the next, etc. But just you'll receive this schedule via email, and look forward to seeing you there if you choose to attend. And that's it. If we don't have any last questions, we have two folks from the library who will lead you on law school and library tours. And then after that, we have the advising sessions. And don't forget the reception from 5 to 7. That is on the second floor. It's called the Student Conference Center. It's directly above the Uptowner coffee shop, kind of over there. That's it. We have appetizers, beer, wine, and the dean will be there to address everyone as well. All right, so thank you.
Oh, you did? Was it straightforward? Yeah. It's just a thing. It seems like it's in Canvas. And then
I don't remember.
I'm taking bid protest.
Some like environmental
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was like I was in college. Thursday.
Yeah, I think you said level AI. What else? Are you in bid protest? And then you take money. Okay, so great. Admin law.
If you register for
Right. Yeah, it does.
He's like, here's what I'll tell you about GCP. Show you the training report, and you can tell me what it means by a bit. He's like, they rescale.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
height scale.
I'm trying to go.
So it doesn't, they don't even like copy it over. It's just some sort of arcane, which is to say it doesn't matter.
All I know is every single person who drops through got an LLM graduated with that. There's not a single person who just
It's just number of credits. It's that simple. 9 or more full-time, less than 9 part-time. So you can't get a UPass. No comment. No comment. Thanks.
Thank you.
My pleasure. presentation went even faster than I thought.
Yeah, but you didn't seem like you were rushing me.
Oh, I didn't?
No. Okay. No, I mean, you were going through stuff, but I kept waiting for people to ask stuff. The only thing I noticed, so I live actually, something, I don't think that exam archives are important. They used to.
Yeah, maybe that was too good.
Oh, really?
Okay, so we are, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, so you just, see, mine is, which is fine, so we're 10 minutes away from each other. That's so close. So, yeah, so over here is the bus stop by the Oak Street, the Kindle Care right here. It's over near here, which is fine, but I'd walk there. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a big one. Like this is huge. So right here's the bus stop, and then I looked at just driving there. It's $5 a park. And I was like, I don't need it.
And I will offer you so that you could park in our house, but we don't have a driveway.
Oh, yeah, so you guys are
We have to park outside. We only have one.
Do you have a designated spot at least for your house?
No.
Is yours, are they townhouses or are they? Okay.
So it's a four, ID stuff, it's not until, is that real?
Yeah, because right now it's yours, right?
ran into her in the grocery store once.
She seems really nice.
Yeah, a good person. I tend to, she always like, I have to ask her some faculty things. She's very responsive.
I know she's, my understanding it was bad online, and I don't think that's, no,
Records was not in her title. Her title was something different, like something lab programs, and I think the
online
online
education.
education that was online.
I don't know that amused is the right word either. More like spitting nails.
No, I think she's just like, she felt that that was the right decision for her.
Yeah.
I just hope she's okay.
How's the acceptance since I lost you?
Yeah,
Have you talked to her?
talked to her. I shot out a couple of names, and she's like, "Now that person works." I'm like, "But you're only asking a person to kind of help out 2 weeks, so."
I don't know why my hairless neighbor is.
Seems to me that we should be here. The day before classes start.
Is he thinking about to go on the actions, or is that something you? Would you